Hey there, treasure hunter. Would you believe me if I told you there's a flower that only grows where diamonds are buried beneath the ground? This isn't a metaphor, and it's definitely not some wild conspiracy theory. It's a fact. A quiet, nearly invisible plant that blooms exclusively above a rare type of rock called kimberlite. And guess what? That rock is the birthplace of some of the purest diamonds on Earth. Now think about this. How many times have you walked across plain, ordinary land, never suspecting you might be standing right above a treasure, while millions of people scramble to figure out where to invest? The Earth, quite literally, gives us signs of natural wealth, but only if you know how to look. This flower is nature's secret code, and in this video, you'll not only find out what it's called, but also how to spot it, where it grows, and why even seasoned gem hunters are already using this trick. But, hey, before the big reveal, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because in the next few minutes, you're going to see why this flower might just be the map to your next big discovery. And at the very end, I'll also share another rare sign that almost no one knows about, but it could be worth even more. While machines drill into mountains chasing riches that soon run out, the Earth, wise and patient, offers its own signals, subtle, silent, and almost always overlooked. A single flower can reveal more than an entire map. It doesn't shout, but it whispers. There's something precious here. Ancient peoples understood this. They didn't need sensors or satellites, just sharp eyes and deep respect for nature's rhythms. Where certain plants grew, there was more than just beauty. There was power, healing, or gold. Nowadays, with so much rush and information, overload, we've forgotten how to read the simple signs, and that's where the real danger lies. Because nature is still speaking, but who's actually listening? In places like Guyana, the Congo, and the Amazon, botanists have confirmed that specific flowers only grow on mineral-rich soil. And in some of these exact spots, diamonds were later discovered. Coincidence? Not at all. It's a natural pattern. And when you learn to recognize Earth's patterns, you start walking through the world with an edge. But this is just the beginning. Because what comes next reveals a secret that's even more precise. For a long time, it was just another plant, overlooked by the modern world's lens. It grew quietly, in hard, rocky soil, in places where no one expected to find anything but dry land. But what seemed insignificant turned out to be a master key. Its scientific name? Pandanus candelabrum, a complicated name for a simple function, pointing to hidden diamonds. This rare plant caught the attention of geobotanists who noticed an intriguing pattern. It only bloomed in soil containing kimberlite. And if you're not familiar with it, kimberlite is a rare rock that forms deep within the Earth's mantle, and over millions of years, pushes diamonds up to the surface. And here's the amazing part. It's not just in Africa. In the United States, for example, the soil in Arkansas, specifically at the crater of Diamond State Park, has already revealed natural diamonds in areas where anyone can dig. There are also signs of kimberlite in Wyoming, Colorado, and Montana. This discovery changed the game. What used to be random guessing in diamond hunting turned into a botanical-based investigation. Geologists began mapping the presence of Pandanus candelabrum in remote parts of Africa and started paying closer attention to regions in the US where similar geological formations exist. In Montana, kimberlite pipes with diamond potential have already been identified. And in Colorado, studies show natural traces of similar rocks in various areas. A simple field of flowers became a green light for excavation. But here's the most Surprising part, even after this revelation, almost no one knows about it. And you know why? Because the rarer the knowledge, the more valuable it becomes. Big mining companies understand this, but everyday people are still walking blind. If this kind of information blew your mind, go ahead and hit that like button and drop a comment saying, "I see the signs." That way, I'll know you're one of the few who actually want to learn how to decode the Earth's messages. And now you reading this, you're carrying knowledge that very few people have. Pandanus candelabrum is no longer just the tongue-twisting name of an exotic plant. It's become a tool, a guide, a bridge between the unseen and the revealed. Imagine hiking a trail in the Colorado Rockies or exploring a remote valley in Wyoming and spotting a tiny, almost invisible flower growing alone, realizing that it might be a clue to an ancient treasure buried beneath your feet. This isn't about luck anymore. It's about awareness, about reading the signs, about tuning in to what nature has been trying to tell us for centuries. Because the next time you step onto seemingly ordinary ground, it might be silently screaming that something extraordinary lies beneath. And as you'll see in the next part, this is just the beginning of a whole new way to explore the world. Knowing there's a flower directly linked to the presence of diamonds is already mind-blowing. But the real power comes when you learn to recognize it with your own eyes and turn that knowledge into real-world action. Pandanus candelabrum has very specific features: long, stiff leaves that grow in a spiral around a sturdy central stem, and a strong preference for hard, rocky soils that often appear dry and barren. You'll usually find it in dry forests, open fields with sparse vegetation, or near exposed rocky formations. Places like Arkansas, especially the Crater of Diamonds State Park, have already reported sightings of this plant growing in soil that contains kimberlite. The first step is to train your eye. Pay attention to the soil, the shape of the leaves, the surrounding vegetation. Bring a notebook, take photos, log GPS coordinates. That's how you start building your own secret map. And if you're enjoying this journey so far, now's a great time to hit that like button. It helps the algorithms show this content to more seekers like you. Once you've observed the plant, the next step is to connect the dots. Use public geological maps like those from the USGS, United States Geological Survey, and tools like Google Earth Pro to overlay areas where you spotted key signs with regions that have a known history of kimberlite. If you want something more hands-on in the field, apps like Gaia GPS or AllTrails can help you mark coordinates and build custom routes for your explorations. Remember, this isn't about spotting one random flower and starting to dig. The secret lies in patterns. If you see similar vegetation popping up along multiple trails, especially over dark, compact, and low-fertility soil, a natural pattern is forming. And in nature, patterns almost always mean purpose. It's like learning to read a language few people understand, and each field trip makes you more fluent in Earth's ancient dialect. Very few people take the time to do this, because it requires patience, curiosity, and a solid dose of perseverance. But those who invest time in the field, noticing the details others ignore, gain something more valuable than any diamond: trained vision. You don't need to travel halfway around the world to begin. There are trails, parks, and reserves right here in the US, in places like Wyoming, Colorado, and Montana, where kimberlite has been recorded and the landscapes are ideal for this kind of observation. Start by picking a route close to home with rocky soil and practice your awareness. Keep a field journal. Take notes, snap photos, document everything. This isn't just a hobby, it's a way of seeing the Earth through new eyes. And in the next part, you'll discover that this flower is just one of many. Because all of nature is filled with secret signs, just waiting for someone who knows how to read them. If the Pandanus candelabrum already feels magical just for blooming above diamond-rich soil, imagine finding out it's just the entryway into an even more fascinating world. The truth is, there are other plants, fungi, mosses, even lichens, that work like living maps of what's hidden underground. In areas with acidic rocky soil across the US, for example, certain grasses take on bluish-green hues because they absorb copper from the earth. In mountain regions with quartz veins, lichens grow in circular patterns where silicon builds up, an indirect sign that valuable minerals may be present. And it's not just about what you see. Fungi like those in the Geomyces genus actually react chemically to elements in volcanic rocks, blooming where there's hidden mineral activity. It's like nature has placed invisible alarms, if you know how to read them. And so you're not left relying on luck. I put together a full guide, from the basics to advanced techniques, teaching you how to decode each of these signals. The IU link is in the description, and trust me, it'll change the way you see the ground beneath your feet. These natural codes are real, and what's crazy is that barely anyone is studying them. Because while most people are too busy looking up, the earth keeps whispering secrets through the things that grow from its soil. Every splash of color, every lone flower in a dry field might be a message. And once you start to understand this silent language, you realize you're playing a totally different game. It's no longer about mining with a pickaxe. It's about mapping with awareness. Big discoveries always begin with a small overlooked detail, with a pattern only a truly observant eye can catch. And if you want to be part of that rare group, you need to train that eye now. Because at the end of this video, I'm going to reveal one of the rarest and most valuable signs the earth has ever shown us. A sign hardly anyone knows about, but one that holds the power to completely change the way you see the world around you. How many times have you walked past a dry, barren field without noticing the one lone flower standing tall, quietly defying the harshness of the soil? The truth is, life often looks a lot like that scene. Sometimes, what's most valuable hides in what seems insignificant. Pandanus candelabrum is living proof of that. A plant that might not catch your eye at first glance, but grows directly above land where diamonds are buried. Doesn't that remind you of the opportunities you've overlooked? The ones that felt too small, too hard, or simply out of place? Just like that flower, some signs appear in silence, and only those who've trained their eyes to see deeper are able to recognize the hidden value. Because it's not about finding shiny stones. It's about recognizing the quiet beauty of things that grow where no one else is looking. That's what real wisdom is. Seeing the extraordinary where everyone else sees something ordinary. And once you learn to do that, you won't just stumble upon treasures. You'll become the kind of person who creates value wherever you go. And in the next segment, you'll see how this new way of seeing can evolve into a new way of living and acting. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you recognizes these signs. Maybe not with words, maybe you can't even explain why, but there's an inner voice whispering, "This makes sense." And if you felt that, drop a comment below. I see the signs. That comment is more than just a phrase. It's a quiet commitment to a new way of seeing the world. And to help you develop that new perspective, I've put together a complete guide. I mentioned it earlier, but it's worth repeating clearly. With this exclusive material, you'll learn everything from the simplest indicators to advanced techniques for cross-referencing natural signals with geological maps. It's packed with visuals, coordinates, easy-to-follow explanations, and real strategies you can use, even if you're just getting started. The link is in the description. Don't miss it, and start your journey today. And of course, if this content stirred something in you, leave a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and hit that subscribe button, because here, every video is a compass pointing you toward the wisdom Earth is ready to reveal. And now that you know, if one day you come across that flower, would you still call it ordinary? Or will you pause, take a deep breath, look at the ground with new eyes and ask yourself, what else has been trying to speak to me? And I just never listened? The world is full of signs like that, silent, symbolic, priceless. But they only reveal themselves to those with patience, humility, and trained eyes. Maybe the real treasure isn't just beneath the earth, but in the way you choose to see. Because once you learn to notice the extraordinary in the ordinary, you start to recognize invisible opportunities in nature and in life. And if this video stirred something deep inside you, don't stop here, because right now, yes, right this very second, the next episode is appearing on your screen. Where this plant grows, the soil hides emeralds. A secret nature has kept hidden. Click and keep going, because the next secret might be even rarer. See you soon, treasure hunter.